Start. Let us wait. Once output we see, then we can start our program. Right. So let us see that output. Localhost colon 3000. Okay. Now, I just as we have done inline expression in app component, we even just wants to do a simple, what you can say, inline expression at component basis. As we have given a person component, let us enter into that component, and I just wants to make it any mathematical expression that should show its value dynamically. So I'm a X and I am an X years old. In this place of X as of now, just wants to make it dynamic. Opening closing curly braces from, or else using the math module, we have a random built-in function. It just show something number in the range of 0 to 1, and then if we see, Right. Okay, it is showing something a random number which is in decimal point and 0 to 1. For example, if you refresh once again, it may give one other number. But actually, AH that should not like this right now. We just do some expression. There is a floor. Of course, it's not important. I'm just saying random and floor. These are the built-in functions are not important. But just I'm maintaining something at this moment. How we can make it an inline expression in the component basis. So again, a math module dot floor floor of something. I mean floor of again math dot random. It's just showing zero because actually it is getting an output 0.2, 0.4, 0. Something else. So as it is round converting to round figure, only zero. So that's why what we can do here is we just do some expression multiplying something random number with a 30 days that is 30 and that will be finally convert to what you can say round figure. That is, maybe it will be 9.2 or 9 point something, and it is round figure, or it's 8.3, 8.5, 8.8, something, it became round figure. Once again, if you refresh 6, 10, 14, right now. So we got a clarity, something that we can see a random output. Now we come to the point of component reusable. So go to add as you have given here a name and there is given a call of component. We just wants to make it component reusability. Just repeating for multiple multiple number of times. For each and every time, it just give as a new call to its definition and enters into definition and do some process. Right here, it is working for each and every time. It's giving something new value or values. And if you refresh, then for each and every time a component is given a call, a random number is generating. That is okay. This is just wants to know how we can apply something inline style there itself, how we can create a dynamic output in the component basis itself. Okay, now we want to maintain the concept of person name, person age, right? As of now, we have written three persons. It's nothing but we can say we have written three components, and so we can say it is three persons, and we need to mention the names and their ages. So to mention their names and ages, then come to the point of each and every component. One second, hold on, please. Coming to the point of each and every person, please. Name, sorry, write the property name, and as we want to maintain the name and age, so name something Sam or whatever you want, and age. These two are the properties to the person component. The same way, let us write a name and that equals to Joseph and age and that equals to something. The same way for another person, something named Williams and age. Okay, so at this moment we have given three names and correspondingly ages and how to refer that values here. To refer these values as these are the properties of each and every component. We can just given an access in the definition here as an arguments place. In the arguments place, we just can write props. From these props, it can extract that is these props are holding all the properties of each and every component. As of now, we have written two properties, name and age. The same way, we even can also write name, age, email, mobile, and so on, a number of things. Each and every component can have a number of properties. Then, how you can access into its output. So the accessibility like this, using the props dot that name and we are maintaining a data which we are passing. So props dot age. Now for each and every time a component is given a call, it just taking the corresponding name of the component and age of that component and displaying here Sam 23, Joseph, and so on, right? So we are able to see the details of each and every component. Let us do one thing. Let us make it something. Then, okay, just wants to highlight that name and age like this. Okay, and this how we can work with the concept of child properties. Let us write. Okay, in the person component, you have passed these are the name and age or the properties. And if we want something a child property or properties, okay, let us do one thing. I just set a child property or properties to the second component. You can also make it anywhere, but I am just writing here. When you are going to maintain or display or work with the concept of what you can say child properties, how it will be. In the opening and closing particular component, let us write for timing. I am just writing. Then how you can access this child property. This is called actually when you write directly in the component itself, those are called as properties or main properties. And when you write an in between that block of that component, that statements are all considered as a child properties. And we want to display this child property. So to display this child property, go to the same person.js along with existing statement. You just have to give a call again, same with opening closing parentheses, curly braces, using the props dot chil children, right? Props dot children, and it is giving error as already what we have seen in the very beginning, as we are unable to pass multiple lines of statements at a time in the written statement. So we just have to wrap it. So write a tube and then write and then write. So the first component, second component is having child property, and that is how it is highlighting and displaying. And the third property, sorry, the third component. This is so this is called, we can say, first point what we have done, we have given a component and we written its definition. Second point, in the component definition, we have given something an expression which has to show dynamically. And now a third statement, we have added the properties of each and every component. Fourth, we just accessed the properties with using props dot extracting that particular property name and displaying in the output. And the fifth point is adding a children properties to the components. Then after all these things, 1 second, hold on please. Please hold on for just 1 or 2 minutes. Hold on please. Right. So now we want to make it something instead of maintaining a hard code, and each and every component we need to pass manually like this. We just wants to maintain every property, sorry, every component and its property under the concept of the object, and how we can maintain that in the concept of or in the way of object. Let us write in the app component itself, write a state. In this state, as we want to hold the concept of a persons, and that is why we are just writing a persons colon, and that should be in the format of holding a group of properties in the format of JSON.
Why we are making state for this?
To
Please
maintain
explain.
for each and every component first point, you are maintaining a hard code, and that should something come from the place where it can be easily manageable, meaning you have given here name and age. Okay, and these should be updated, for example. Then how again and again you have to come to this point? That is first point, that is updation is also problem. And second thing, as of now we have written three components and you just given values. Okay, but saying that if you have 10 components, I mean 10% or 20 or 30, then are you going to write for each and every line with a instead of sorry for each and every line with its name and age? It's not possible right now. We can't write as a programmer. As of now, we are starting, we are maintaining the concept, okay, one by one. First component, later component properties, and component manageable of all the properties like this. But finally, the application that should be totally have a system that should take a data, that should do some process, and that should give an output right now. It should not wait for the developer to enter that new value. It should not wait for the developer to delete that existing value, right? To maintain in such a way, we are making all the statements of all the requirements of all the properties data at one place under the state object. It is a built-in. In this state object that you can have n number of things, n number of what can say properties, and each property that can have a sub properties in the format of JSON. Now getting point clear?
Yes.
Okay. So now name. Okay, for timing same name. Okay, make it just we are maintaining the records as of now. Of course, it is also hard code only, but instead of writing at element basis, sorry, component basis in the return statement, one thing you should understand one more point in coming to the point of React JS to the maximum, the return statement should be lightweight. It should not take the data. It should, I mean, it should not be in the point of holding the data here itself and doing some process. So everything that data, everything that values that should maintain top and do some process and final output that should return to the statement. Okay, that's why. Okay, you have written persons object which it can hold 0, 1, and 2. I mean, because of you have written square bracket now. The first, the index 0, 1, and 2. And how you are going to access these records? You just can access in the name, how you can access state. A state is an object, but a state is an object to which component? App component. Without a component, there is no object, right? And without a class, that is we there is a point of app is a class is a template right now. A template with the concept of a properties and methods, right? And these properties and methods that should access through the objects, right? And that's why we are writing an object, and this object is coming from app. That's the reason we are specifying this. This is referring to app.state right now, and it is having persons inside that where it can have a number of records, and each record is having name and stream, sorry, name and age. So now this dot state, that is from the state object, you are entering into the person's property of first record, extracting the name, right? So clearly you have entered into this and given a call to the particular value. The same way, state dot persons of 0 dot age. The same way, let us write. Like getting my point? The first record is referring with the 0 index now. And from that you are extracting the name and age. Same way, right? Is it correct what we have written? Everything it will show in all the places SAM 23, SAM 23, SAM 23 only. Because of you refer to index 1, sorry, you refer to index 0, then index 1, index 2. Okay, right now. Then in same way, here also index 1 and change here. As you have given an access to the properties from the state object, and whatever that values that you have set here, that will be same. Okay, if you want to just test Make it something, a small change, and see that output right now. Respectively, that second and third also will be updated. Okay. Then now next point. Okay, let me create a concept of a button. When you click on this button, it has to update the results of a component. So button something type equals to, then saying that okay, change details or change data, whatever you want. When you click on this button, it has to change the details. So how you can give a method in JavaScript, what you have done, I mean event handler. When you click on a particular button or anywhere, it just given a call with something function called right now. Here also same, only the syntax is differing. How on click, when user clicks on it, that is what we have discussed in the beginning. All the properties at the same time, all the methods are also that should be under the app component. So each and every method also can be accessed with this this dot. Let us write change details of user defined method. It is not at all correct. You should just give something, the name, that's it. No need of writing opening closing parenthesis. Normally you will be writing opening closing parenthesis, but in this concept in React.js, when you are giving a call, of course this is one of the methodology I'm saying. When you are using this methodology, using it, this dot change details or whatever, then just now you have to enter into the definition where you can write the definition. The definitions see, don't write in the render. The definitions or any properties that should be declared, that should be defined, everything under the main app itself. Now change details, and that equals to, that is what we even can also write a method with an arrow functions, and then for time being, let us do one thing, console.log. And this console.log, we just saying that was for timing to get an idea whether this event handler is working or not, and it is giving to the definition or not, and doing some process or not. Once we got a clarity, then we can do whatever we want to update or whatever we want to do in this method. So as we have given a statement that should show in the console, so click on inspect element, then when I click on this button, right, it's displaying. So we got a clarity that user is clicking on this button and that is given a call and that is updating. Sorry, one second. Please just hold on for a moment, please. Right. So for n number of times observed here was clicked and right hand side. For n number of times that user is clicking, that is just adding that number because the same statement right now. That's why it is just adding that number. Okay, we got a clarity first of all. As user is clicking on a particular button, it is just entering into its definition and executing that statement or statements. Now, our requirement is to update the details. So, to update the details, we have a simple way and a built-in method which is called set state. Let us write. And this is also a built-in method under the app component only we have to write. So everything, remember, outside of render, what you are writing are all related to the concept of app only, and that you have to specify with the keyword this. And then set state is a built-in method. Inside this, just give a call as it is what we have already first, the concept of persons. Then as we want to update right now, for timing, I'm just writing to see the different values totally. That is when user takes an action. That is what we want to see. Okay. And then Let it be something. Okay. And now when you click on it, right, it's updated here. And at the same time, if you observe in JavaScript, actually we need to write, but for each and every time we don't need to compare. I'm just saying one of the example. In JavaScript, to do this kind of an action, we need to write a get element by ID, and it has to take. It was something complicated. Of we need to write some set of statements with, what you can say, using the IDs. Here, we just do something, a simple given a call, and with a given built-in method set state, we are just updating the records. Okay, all the records at that time we have updated. If you want to update only one particular record means, but one thing here you need to specify all the records first point. I mean, if I want to update in place of Joseph to Adam, but you should not make it only one line of statement and keep silent. If you just statement, it will treat this is a first record, so that will be updated in the first record. So make it all the statements or properties or you can say the records, and wherever that you want to change comparing to previous, just change. Later we will be asking the user to enter also. And so far, whatever we are discussing, already we have started a concept in the very beginning onwards. Of course, we can say from the person component also. What is that concept I am saying is property binding. When you say property binding, when you have given a state object and that is displayed in the given place, from this component, when you have given and you are accessing in the opening closing parenthesis of this is called, we can say, property binding. And that too one-way property binding. Why it is called one-way property binding? Because of you just given a value that is just pushing into the output, nothing else. We are asking the user to do something action. When we say two-way property binding means when we ask the user to enter something and user is entering, and that is giving an update, or that is giving some action, sorry, that, that is giving something an output, then in that case we have to say two-way property binding. Okay, don't mind, today I'm not feeling well. Of course my throat is totally disturbed. So, and what I'm saying is, yes, finally we got a clarity that we have given a call to method and just entering it its definition, doing some process of updating at a time with a set state, and that is reflecting. Right now, the same action, sorry, let us refresh. The same action that even it will work or else it can work. Give me just 1 minute. Sorry for inconvenience. Right. Okay. So now my requirement is instead of creating a functionality for the button, we also can create the concept, or we also create the functionality on a component basis also. How? Okay, let me do one thing. I want to create the concept that event handler to the second component. You can do it even for first or third or anywhere. So I just wants to make it something second component that should have something an event handler. Okay, let us write. Okay. Now as how you have given a method in the button, the same way I just will write here observe. I am writing the concept here like as a name and age. We just create a sample click property, whereas name and age are having values as a text or something else, maybe number. But click is having a value in terms of method giving a call. So this dot change details. And when you have given a call, same, it is also updating. So now observe why we have given here the concept means in a list of items. Also, we can create a concept of event handler. And now let me click on first record, nothing has happened. Last record, nothing has happened. When we click on, it is not updating. Paul Adam, right. Oh, sorry, I just forgot. You have given a call. When you have given a call to the age property, it is fetching its value right now. But when you have given a call, here click is not a built-in keyword. It is also just like a property. But where is the event handler? Without an event handler, how can it execute? That's why what we have to do means when user clicks on it, it's entering into its definition. But how that event handler on click is done means you have to write in the component definition as you are as you are extracting the values in the same way you have to explicitly tell on click and that equals to props dot click. Okay, right there like this. So what happens when user given first of all a component is given a call right now and it is entered and displaying its details. When user clicking on a record, immediately click is given a call. It is entering into its value. What is that value you have given? Like previous, these things are just a single statement values. It's given its output. But here you have given a definition call. So it is entering into its definition and doing some process. That is what you have to observe. In place of name and age, there is a direct values, but in place of click, there is a function. When we click now, right, it's update. So the concept here is creating an event handler directly to the list items. That is the concept. Okay, we got a clarity even at button, even at separate button, even at list place also that we can do it. But at the same time, we want to pass that parameters, pass that parameters or pass that arguments to methods. Then how we can pass that arguments to methods, right? So this dot change details and using the built-in method which is called bind. dot bind is a built-in method which is accepting this is accepting the method name, comma, from this method name you are passing that values. Okay, I am passing for time being uh, something name, something age. So at this moment we are passing one parameter value, so one record value. When user clicks on it, a bind is a built-in method which takes two parameters. One is a concern referring the name of that method, and the second thing is a group of parameters will take as a single. And these you need to give a call to the definition. So let us write as we have passed two things. Let me write here new name as an argument and new age wherever that you want to update particularly. In that particular place, you just can give a call to that arguments. New name for timing, I'm just giving preference to second record all the operations. You even can also create to any other, what you can say, record also. Then as you have given a call along with the parameters, the same method here, if it is not having, then it will give an error. It won't work. So because it is a point of something, a method that should be passed parameters or a method that should not be passed without parameters. It should not something like at one time we are passing, at one place we are passing, and another place we are keeping silent. So the same way, I'm just writing a bind again and giving a call to that method with a referring this. This is referring to that particular current running method, and we are passing something. mm, Something. Okay. Okay. Then now in both the cases we have two different values. Come to the functionality. When user clicks on change details, what it will happen? Paul, it will take Danny and Victor. The same way 3, 6, 4. The same way when you click again, Paul and Victor will be same. In place of new age and new name, this will be updated with Easter and 7 because you have changed the values. So Danny and 6. When you click on, that is just updating. A particular record is updating. So here the concept is how we can pass the methods, sorry, how we can pass that arguments to methods. Okay, and this is one of the methodology that you can pass that arguments to method using the bind built-in function. But there is another way. What is that? Let us write. With opening closing parenthesis, saying that you are going to pass an arguments to this with arrow and giving a call and this dot change details. Directly you are passing the values. Comparing to if you observe clearly, line number 38 is also doing same action. Line number, what you can say, 31 is also doing same action, but just there are two different ways that you can pass. Most of the times, of course, we give preference to this, or okay, we give preference to the opening closing parenthesis and give a values directly to the function call, I mean method call. And now let me update. So let me see. I click on is Easter right now, and when I click on it, Danny, that is. So it is working in both ways. So so far we have done the concept of one-way property binding, and then now let us work with the concept of two-way property binding. First of all, to create or to work with the concept of two-way property binding, we just have to give a call to the input elements. Of course, it's not giving a call. We just have to display a input element. So along with the two statements right here, input type, and that equals to text. It will display the input element and all the records. And user is typing the characters, whatever user is typing, that should take and display. That is called, we can say, on change event handler. Defaultly, it is empty right now. Defaultly, it is empty, and when user starts typing, it is changing from empty to some other D, from D to DF, DF to W, DFW. So it is changing for each and every time, and that is the reason we say on change, and that is why you have to write an event handler here on sorry on change, and that equals to anyway that we have to give something property. So like as I click what we have done. So let me just write here first props dot. I will create a changed property. Right. When we have given a call, it just enter into its definition and it's set for it. So let us write changed, and that equals to this dot. Okay, let me write here for timing name change handler. Okay. So when user starts typing character by character, it it immediately given a call and enter into the definition. Where is the definition? Write the definition, and that equals to. Okay. But one thing, as you are passing character by character on change, how to accept that one? So write something here in the opening closing parenthesis as an argument. So I'm just writing something. You can write anything. Event is just an argument name. You even can also write type event, character event, or whatever. Finally, the user is typing that character is taking into this argument. And once it is taking that value, taking that argument, a value what user is typing, and then wherever that we want to update, let us write in a second record or first record or in which place that you want to update the concept of event. What you were saying, event means here user is typing, which is targeting from where the user side, from where that input element should take that value from the given targeting value. How can it understand that you have given target to value of a particular input element because of by just writing here on change? It will understand where this property is given. This property change is given to particular second record. As you have linked here, changed property given a method and how this changed property is accessed with the onChange event handler. So when user types in the first record, nothing else will happen because there is no changed property. When user types in the third record, also nothing else will happen. There is also nothing else. And when user types on second record, on change event handler is given, and for each and every character user is typing, that change is given a call to its user defined method, and that is entering and updating from where you are getting that value. You are targeting that value. Getting my point? And see, okay, something new age. Okay, it be something. Then now user is typing even whereas user types anyway. When user is typing, that on change is also updating as you have given all the records to update. That's the reason that first record which we have given a hard code value, second record is sorry, third record which we have given in a hard code value, and whereas second record what user is typing on change of each and every character that is targeting to that particular corresponding input element and getting an output, displaying its output. Right? You are clicking on it, you are clicking on it, and you are typing on it. The three event handlers that are working on a particular second record itself. Of course, you can also create all the records. I mean, according to the requirement, we can do it. I am just saying that one by one, the concept how we are updating with event handlers. Okay, so it's clear up to this point to all of you. Presently, we just given preference to second record. Further, we will be given preference to all the records irrespectively. I mean, if user is typing in the first record, that will update correspondingly. User is typing second record, that will update correspondingly. User is typing third record, that also will update in the correspondingly. That is will be given further point. Up to this point, it's clear. All the event handlers and passing methods or passing methods with arguments and even accessing the values through keyboard, that is what we can say on change. So far we have done with some event handlers. Okay, and at the same time, now let us work with something styles also, right? So we want to create a nice styling for this component. That is each and every record we are displaying now. And this each and every record, every list item that should have something style. So let us write in the person, that is component basis we want to write now. So in the person.css, I am just creating a class. Then I am just writing some properties. It's not exactly or mandatory that you have to go in this way. With the margin, border, border 1 pixel, solid, and CCC. Or speak it. Okay. And then background RGB A zero point 3. That is a light glossy effect we want to create. Make it something a light glossy effect that we want to create. Additionally, we want something padding again. Oh no, 16 pixels. Make it text align something in center. Okay. Some of the properties that we have given, I mean, sorry, not properties, styles. Okay, here in styling, we can say properties right now. And some of the properties in the class that we have given, and this, let us write import import then apply that class. Okay, a class name and see that output. Just we have given something boxes and width and glossy if that's white color background with the transparent opacity we have reduced something done. So that is why we have able to see here. And even let us now create the concept of styling for button also. Okay, if you want to go or if you want to create a something style for button in a class basis, that is an external style sheet, we can write it. Or else you even can also create the concept of inline style. Let us create how already we have discussed how we can apply that style, inline style, in the previous examples. And now let us apply in the app.js file. Come to the point of a render. In render, const btn style something for button we are creating a style now. So that's why. And that equals to sorry opening closing curly braces. We can say something mm, okay, let us do one thing. Here also, I just want to go with RGB A additionally border 1 pixel solid and same let it be 000 and make it something color inside that. Okay, it is not at all visible, so make it something F000 or else we can make it something totally 000. Additional to this, let us write something as padding something, and it's not important all these points and just write it cursor. Okay, so all these points that whatever we have done under that button style, let us give an access to the, I mean, not access, let us make it style to the button. So style and that equals to btn style right now, and then you can see here button, of course, and we even further create a concept of dynamic styling also, that is based on the actions of user. How we can update that style also we will discuss. Additionally, now okay, we done with something style for the records, or we can say list of items, at the same time a button also. Now we want to make it something event handler. When user clicks on this button, then it has to show. Again, when user clicks on this button, it has to hide. The concept called is toggling effect, and we say rendering the list of items based on the condition or conditionally. Rendering the list of items conditionally based on the condition. So how you can do it? First of all, these are three components as of now, okay? And let us group all these three things. Presently, it is separate, it is separate, it is separate. Na? So we want to make it something group. So write a group and that is wrapping, and inside this, let us make it all the records. Then, so it can be easier to access, sorry, it can be easier to write a condition whether the total block is to display or should hide, something else like this. First point, and we know how we can create the concept of conditional or ternary operator in the very beginning we have discussed right now, that we can implement here. How we can implement opening closing curly braces. Of course, to implement the concept of ternary or conditional or ternary operator, at the additional, sorry, we at least require some condition now. So to do some condition, okay, now in the very beginning of stage, in the very beginning of stage, along with the persons, make it something, show persons as false. Okay, that is defaultly we are setting it as a false. Then now come to the point. From the state right now, that show persons is also under that state. From that state of show persons, if it is equivalent to true, question mark, the meaning, if it is equivalent to true, place this due as a true statement that you want to show. Right? Then same way, if user is, sorry, if the show persons is false, then close the div, and here Let us write a simple paragraph. No such something we are writing. Just a statement, okay? Right. So now, as it is defaultly, we have set it as a false. That is the statement we are seeing here. We don't have any data about persons. When we click on it, it has to change. It has to action done by the user. Okay, when user clicks on that particular button, then now go to the concept. In place of change details, now let us change to the toggling effect. We got a clarity. First of all, that how that you can update the details of a what you can say component or group of components. Then anyway, at line number 64, we have that concept. So here now we are going to create the concept of toggling effect. When you click on it, you have to give a call to one of the methodology, so one of the method. In that method, based on the condition, it is true or false, it has to show or not, it has to decide it. That will write the definition, and of course that will write that functionality in tomorrow's session. At the same time, the further points, what you can say, mm, already we are adding, we can make something adding as the number of records are adding. Obviously, it has to show automatically the group of records. It should not be something manually that you have to write person, person, person. Dynamically, it has to load. As one record is added, it has to add. One record is deleted, it has to delete and update and retrieving all these CRUD operations. That is what we have discussed. I mean, sir, we are going to discuss. Okay, that we'll discuss tomorrow session. Okay, then clear the things what we have discussed today. To all of you, it's clear, and try to do practice what we have discussed. And if you have any questions or things that something, I mean doubts, please let me know. We'll discuss it. I'm not okay. I forgot something else. Yesterday, someone have asked me a question, but at the end, exactly same today also. Okay, so do one thing. The one who have doubt yesterday, remember the point tomorrow in the beginning itself. Please remind me once if you have still that doubt, and we'll discuss once that point. Okay. Okay, then thank you and bye.